Back on radio now again. Welcome back. You are listening to IBGR.network. IBGR is a call sign as the radio station, but we're of course much more than a radio station. We're even a viewing station now. But we are a radio station, but we are a network in 145 countries already in the last, and this is only season 3. So I'm your host Jan Robberts, global influencer, and this is episode number 10 already of season 3. How time flies. But your network is your net worth, not your nightmare. So we're talking about this in the People Lane Skills, People for Success at IBGR.network. Now you can actually go to the website www.ibgr.network and download our show notes. Now if you've just joined us, we're now also in the IBGR page on Facebook. We're live, so you can even see me. Even though I've got a face made for radio, you can see me anyway. And you can leave comments there as well. But if you go to the website, you can actually, there's a pulsating question mark there where you can actually leave questions. You can ask questions, leave questions, ask questions, even give us comments. Because next season, you will decide what we talk about. You're on the on-demand radio station. It's really coming to life next season when you decide what we talk about and what we cover. So this is your big chance. It's all about you anyway, but it's going to be even more about you when we talk about what is really important, what's really worrying, what's really important, and that you need to know. So in that case, let's move on a little bit. I mean, I talked a little bit about contact spheres, what they are and how they work in the last session. And I want to explain a little bit more how to go about developing your spheres. Now, what you have to do is to develop those spheres. And if you weren't there yet, a contact sphere is where a lot of people, a lot of businesses can work together who have got similar but not the same business. So not two joining companies, but a joiner, a plasterer, a plumber, an electrician. These businesses can all come together for the good of each other and go together to a job and refer each other. But again, B&I I'll talk into referrals a lot more. But that's the kind of things where you get contact spheres. I hope that makes sense if you just started watching or listening. Now, you have to identify as many professions as possible that fit within your company's contact sphere. So as I just said, the plumber, the electrician, the plasterer, the joiner, those kind of things. But take a look at what professions your industry tends to work with to get an idea of the repetitive and reciprocal referrals. Create a list of those professionals. Then identify specific individuals who would fit into your contact sphere. Now go to various networking groups or consult your business card file and database, even your yellow pages if you have one of them. It'll tell in your area who's what. So if you do this locally, you can do this internationally as well, but not so much the plumber and the joiner, but you don't have to be restricted to your own area. I mean, it depends how far you're willing to travel to do those kind of businesses, but whatever it is, you decide. Of course, like lawyers and CPAs and those kind of people, they can work virtually much easier. It's difficult to do your plumbing virtually, but you get the picture anyway. So then you invite these people to participate in networking groups with you, so you can formalize your relationship and have a way to stay in regular contact, building relationships, because maintaining the relationship is key. And a good way to do that is to participate in groups that put together on a regular basis. So don't just walk away from a session where you've met these people no, get together regularly and talk about these kind of things. Evaluate the professionals in your contact sphere that you are presently referring. If they are not reciprocating, because it's all about that as well. If they're not reciprocating, you may have the wrong profession or the wrong person. But fill the spot with someone who is willing to reciprocate. Again, B&I always talks about it, and we're going to talk about it a little bit later. But if you're going to refer people, because it's not always something where you all work together, but the plumber might work somewhere and they say, hey, we could do with a joiner for this. So if the joiner is in your sphere, you refer the joiner and you expect, there should be an expectancy that they will do the same for you. Otherwise, they shouldn't be in your sphere. They should be in somebody else's. But you get the picture. So contact sphere is a great way to start building a professional business network. And, I also talked about why strategic networking and why nothing really comes from those sessions. Now, you need to be very intentional. See, that is... I said it about my story with Arthi, where I was intentional in going to this international Maxwell certification event. I was very intentional. Now, Arthi is amazing at this. I mean, if I had to recognize somebody who is absolutely brilliant, not only about connecting, but even more so about building long-term relationships, it is certainly Artie. Artie Moore, who will be on later on today. You know, you don't want to miss her sessions because they are amazing. As are all the other ones, of course, but I'm a little bit biased with my partner and business partner, Artie Moore. But you should really do, because the depth of knowledge she has in connecting with people, and that's learned. That didn't just happen overnight. I mean, she's got a passion, a compassion, and an empathy for people anyway that I still am getting to grips with. But when I see it in action, it's unbelievable, and I want to be like that. So if you are in one of these contact spheres, and you need to build relationships, you know, for me it is a joy to see it happening. You know, people sometimes don't get work with each other maybe early on, but then because they build a relationship. See, some people are quickly to say, oh, I spend hours connecting with somebody and then they didn't buy, or they didn't use my service, or they didn't buy my courses. And they forget about him. Never forget about him, because they might not need your service now. But if you build relationships with them, not only might they maybe use your services in time, but they will also refer you to other people who will need your services, because they get on with you, they connected with you. I'll talk more into that in number 4, in session number 4, which is in a few minutes. But it is so important. So you need to be intentional, because that's when you bring real results. Now, people say, yeah, but I've always had good intentions. That's where the difference is, you see. I've also had good intentions. We all have. If you can put your hand up, if you have, and I'm sure we can all do that. But people who have good intentions, you heard the saying, the road is paved with good intentions. So I always say, and that's not my quote, but people who have good intentions do something good occasionally, and people who live intentionally do something good continually. So that means that if you are living an intentional life and have an intentional business, you already know in the morning some of the things you're going to do that need to be done today. You know, even put it in your Pareto principle, you know, 80-20 rule, that in that 20% you need to make sure that you do the things that really pay off more than the other 80%. Don't do the things you want to do the things you must do. And that you must become intentional about networking. You must become intentional about your goal setting, about what you're going to achieve when you go to a networking session. Otherwise, every time you go to a networking session, they become just another lovely meet and greet job. Oh, I saw this guy again. Lovely guy. Yeah, what does he do? You don't really know. And the other way you can do it is push a business card in somebody and think that's it all done with. Doesn't work either, because then you wonder why the phone doesn't ring off the hook. You gave out 20 business cards at the last networking session. People put them in their pocket between the other ones. And again, I can't remember everybody who I got business cards from and what they do, and what it says on the business card, but how to connect with them and why, what they said. So it is better to connect with 1 or 2 people strategically, intentionally, than get 20 business cards. Or give out 20. I mean, you can give out your business cards if people want them, but don't just go high and hand out a business card. So be intentional about it. And, you know, self-leadership is also something, what I said, is usually lacking. So become more intentional about your growth. Become more intentional about reaching your potential. And if you ever want to achieve your destiny, the only way that's going to happen is growth. I do a program where I've done a video program for the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, where I give you a whole program rather than read the book only, where I give you a whole program where you need to go through a growth plan, and the 15 Invaluable Laws is absolutely amazing. So I made it into a video program where you need to do exercises, you need to take action, because a growth plan, it means that you need to take action every single day. You cannot just do that any other way and then wonder why your business is not growing. Oh, I went to another networking session. Okay, now you know that you need to be intentional. What were the intentions when you went? And you might set intentions, but you need to follow through with it as well, because I set the intentions and nothing happened. So what did you do when you got there? The same as you've always done? Well, you know what the results are, the same as you've always had. So you need to change and become more intentional. And as I said, I've already mentioned Artie Moore about this, how powerful that lady is in building relationships. But these are skills we need to learn. Because if we can spend 5 minutes with somebody and be intentional and communicate effectively, we have a better opportunity to connect with them from the heart as well, because when you talk about all kinds of stuff that everybody talks about in the networking session, apart from the work and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't have to be work based. You need to connect with people first, but understand before being understood comes here as well. So we really need to connect with people and understand where they come from, listen to them. Listening is the power of listening is quite often underestimated. In fact, we always overestimate our listening skills and underestimate everybody else's, to our disastrous results usually, because we learn a lot more from other people when we listen than when we talk. Now, at the radio show, I can't listen an awful lot. I get that, but I listen to other people as well, and I take notes, and that's also something. Have a pen and paper ready, because you can hear something on a networking session that really is necessary. But there is a need for intentional personal development. So if you haven't got a daily growth plan or don't even know what it looks like, find out. I mean, I can help you with that, but find out, because you need, yes, a daily, you hear it every single day. Success is not a one-time thing, it's an everyday thing. And you will be going, if you don't climb a mountain, because success is uphill, if you don't climb a mountain now, you're sliding down a slippery slope, because change will always happen. You don't stand still if you don't know that already. So your choice whether you want to slide down an old hill or climb up a new one. And the hill you're climbing up doesn't have to be big or steep, but whatever you do, put your climbing boots on and start today. So we're already coming on very close to our we're already in the last minute again. Wow, how fast is it going? I've not seen any comments now, but if there's people later on, if you listen to the recording, the podcast, which will be uploaded on the ibgr.network as well, if you listen to it or if you watch the video, make comments. I will check them. I will get notified anyway. I will check them. If you've got questions, make them, and I will do my best to answer them. If not straight away, if I don't know, I'll tell you that as well, and I'll come back with an answer, because I love to research these subjects, because it's important to me, and I know it's important to you. And if it's important to you, I will do my best. So, 2 to 3 minute break, and when we come back, we'll talk about networking the Ivan Meisner way. And Ivan Meisner was the founder of the BNI network worldwide. So I will see you. I will listen. I will be back on the radio in a couple of minutes, and in the Facebook I will keep going. So don't go away.